Well, it's just about 10 minutes past 9 o'clock. Joining me on the radio this 9 o'clock hour, as I sometimes have special guests. Today is one of those days, and we have Rose Hartwig back with us. You were here about a year ago, Rose, and you were talking about an author, and he's here.
I was, and he arrived. And
Gavin Hill is here.
Hello.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
And you're from Sweden, is that right?
No, well, I'm from England originally.
Okay.
I moved to Sweden 22 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I'm English. Yeah.
So, you got one of those dual things going on.
That's right.
Remind us, Rose, how this all came about that you met Gavin.
Well, we've been friends 16 years. We met on just an internet chat system. He asked if I would like to be a pen pal, and I agreed, and the rest is history. We've kept it going for 16 years. Just met last weekend for the very first time.
And you're an author, Gavin, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I've written 17 books, so and 2 CDs we have as well.
Now, are these children's books, adult books? What kind of books are they?
A little bit of everything. I have adult books, children's books, fact books, poetry, and 2 children's CDs. William Gray and the Family Next Door is one, and the other one is A Lesson in the Jungle.
How did you become a writer? How did that all get started?
Well, it really, it happened when I was 15. When I was 15, I couldn't read and write. I had a pretty difficult upbringing. I met somebody who challenged me, and the challenge really was to write a poem, which I managed to do. And then the challenge was to myself was to write a book. So the first book, which was published in 2009, The Maze, I actually wrote it 9 times, because every time there would be a mistake, so I would have to start over, and then I start over. With writing, it was very much that I wrote a book and then put it on the shelf, and then I wrote another book and put it on the shelf. I never dared to try and get it published. And it wasn't until 2008 that I met somebody who told me, well, you have to do this. I sent it in, and they took it directly, so I was pretty surprised.
And, Rose, how did things come together now in the last week? You actually got Gavin here this year.
I have Gavin here, and the community is going to be so enriched.
He's already been speaking.
He's been a guest speaker at the Rotary Club. Mm-hmm. He's going to be next week at the large daycare Stay and Play and do both of his stories and musical CDs. And then on July 12th, he's going to have a Meet Gavin Hill, talk about his life, his novels, his music, Sweet Conclusions, sign people's books that they purchased last year. And then on the 14th, he's also going to be at the library, and he's going to do his children's story and musical, William Gray and the Family Next Door, which he's done Skype with the Catholic school this past winter. So it'll be nice for people to see him in person. And he's going to also be a guest speaker at the Kiwanis. And then we're going to kind of do a little mini tour with Red Wing and Mankato area. So I'm keeping him busy.
Yep, that's true.
Oh, really keep you busy. When do you have to go back, Gavin?
On the 24th of July.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a month here altogether. Yeah.
Cool. All right. And Rose, it was quite intriguing. Last year you were telling about, you were really down health-wise, and.
Yes. When we first met, that was the kind of the connection. He wrote me a poem every day until he ran out of poems and I was still alive. And then he started reading from his novels to me, and has been that shining inspiration that I needed to fight the health issues.
Probably the reason I had to keep writing as well, because if I was run out of ideas for new books, we have nothing to read.
Do you do that for all of your fans, Gavin, or was there something special about Rose?
There was something special about Rose. She told me about her condition, and I was totally dumbfounded. And I think it's amazing that people have such an inner strength to keep going. I've personally haven't had health issues myself. I've come close to death 2 times in my life. I think it's fantastic that one person alone can fight against the odds, and I just wanted to be there, and I just wanted to help. It didn't really matter at the time if I met her or not, as long as I could offer some support to somebody. Meeting her was the icing on the cake, but it wasn't the plan from the beginning. It was just to help somebody, you know.
That's well, it just shows how important that is to have somebody that
cares,
shows that they care, you know.
Right.
And,
Right. Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
It does.
Now, some of your future writing, Gavin, what's kind of on the horizon?
You know, I very much play every day as it comes. And as I say, I never planned really on becoming an author. I planned on writing, and I find that I write because I have to write. It's a bit like food or water or whatever, you know, to get through the day. I feel good if I write, but it's not something that I must do. As I say, when The Maze came out, I think I was more shocked than anything else. And the feeling of holding your own book in your hand is fantastic. And then The Blood Tree came out, and it was equally fantastic. And I'm very sure The Changeling comes out now, hopefully around November. And then next year we have The Watchman. And these books there are 7 books in the Maze series. They're a little bit youthful fantasy, I guess you would say. Maybe somewhere between Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings style, with dragons and witches and wizards and things. Goal-wise, I think my goal in life, it's never been money. Money is nice to have, but I don't think it's the end of everything. I think what is the end of everything is the contentment inside. And by writing books, and letting people read the books, and if they feel good about what they've read, then obviously I've done something good. And I think that's the important issue. I think it's very important to remember that we're all part of the human race, and we must all look out for the people that are here today, now. And by giving something, you're giving something to society. I think that over the years, many years ago, okay, granted, but there was a time when I took from society and I did nothing else. I haven't exactly been an angel. But now maybe I can give something back to society, and that feels good. So my goals are really just to keep writing. Whether I become rich and famous or whether I die a poor little man in a sleeping bag on the street doesn't matter. I have my books. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
And Rose, are you into writing as well?
Gavin's told me, or inspired me to start writing about things that have happened since I've been bedridden and seen the bright lights and gone from there. So I've started a little bit.
He's an inspiration to you, definitely.
He certainly is, and I can't imagine my life without him.
Yeah, cool. We'll try to keep getting the word out about these dates, and
that'd be wonderful.
The information, it's also in the Independent Review.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. In fact, when we leave here, Brent is going to be interviewing Gavin. Okay. So
cool. Yeah. All right. Anything else that you want to share this morning?
I just am so pleased that Gavin can be here in person and enrich our community. As anybody who comes will be enlightened.
I'm certainly glad that it all worked out this summer and you could make the trip.
That I actually made it, yeah.
Was it last year? Was part of it because of all the volcanic ash?
Part of it maybe, yeah. No, really the problem was that I had a passport that was valid from 2002 to 2012, and I figured that meant it was valid, but it didn't have a chip. And I didn't know that. I didn't know I needed one, so when I got to Iceland, I was suddenly stuck. Then I had to rush back to Stockholm, back to Gothenburg, and then the day after back to Stockholm, where I fixed a new passport at the British Embassy. But I didn't realize that America doesn't take emergency passports. So then I went to Holland and I was stuck again.
It's a struggle.
It was a struggle.
A book in itself.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
There's a story there.
Well, I appreciate you coming in and sharing with us, and hopefully people can catch some of these.
I hope so. I hope so.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. It's always wonderful to see you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very
Gavin
much.
Hill and Rose Hardwick.